Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor. Thank you for coming to the channel. This is a reading for Capricorn, a horoscope for Capricorn. And if Capricorn happens to be your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, or any placement, this is a message for you. Okay. Let's get started. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Let's see what these tea leaves have to say. And I'm sorry, I am out of sorts. I just came in just the last minute here from being out in the garden. And my mind is still out there with the bees right now. We were sitting, looking at some clover, watching the little honeybees do their work. Now I am in and I'm doing my readings. Oh, goodness. All right, so I'm just kind of taking a look here. The card that I have pulled for this reading is the 9 of Discs, and this has to do with gain. And you know, what's not happy about a little bit of gain, right? Gains. And so this card is really, it's about money coming in, resources, because it is a disc or pentacle, whatever you coin, whatever you call it. It is related to Earth, the material world, and often our resources are, you know, financials, our work life, and that kind of thing. So, I think that there's, you know, probably some kind of opportunity arisen. I think it's a good time usually when we see the 9 of Discs in a prominent position to, you know, do things like start new projects, you know, take on a new job, a new position, things like this. Okay, so let's take a look at these formations here. First, I want to look at this one. I am seeing a heart, okay? And it looks like we have a little person with a candle right next to them. The candle is the symbol of illumination for me, coming to some kind of understanding, awakening, you know, large strides forward in self-work, okay? And with this little person and the illumination kind of standing on the heart, I believe that, you know, you are in a space of fullness in your passions and the things that you are devoted to. I think that you are really, really very much applying yourself to whatever it is that you are really inspired by, whatever. And I'm sorry, these both of my cats just came in to go eat right now, right at the second. And so we have this heart, we have this little heart. I think that, you know, these are things that you have been thinking about, that you have, you've been working on, you've been, you know, kind of planning this, whatever it is, creative project, new business, things at work. You are a busy person. I know we talk a lot about work with Capricorn, a lot about being on that hustle, being on that grind. Well, that's just how these seem to align. I think, you know, you have a lot of love for your craft. You have a lot of love for honing your skills. You take a lot of pride in what you do, how you spend your time. If it is, like me, I am mostly, although, I do have my side hustles here, or whatever you want to call them, side businesses. I am mostly like a stay-at-home mom. And what do they call those? A domestic goddess. So, I am always working on keeping my house together, keeping things running smoothly, making sure everybody in this household has what they need before they know they need it. And, just taking my passion for my family and keeping our home together, everything planned out and appointments made and everybody to where they need to be on time, all that stuff. Taking it very seriously and doing your best every day. And, for me, that's just my example. That's when somebody says, or I say, somebody who takes pride in what they do, well, that's what comes to mind for me. And so, anyways, in this period of my life, I've been many other things throughout, but, so I think that you are just very devoted to the work, Capricorn. And I will say that I am, a Capricorn rising, so ascendant Capricorn. So, this makes sense to me as well. There seems to be, and now I want to kind of just, this is such an interesting formation. I love when you can turn a formation and it really looks different on every side. Okay. Now, so we had the person standing on the heart. Now we turn it this way. Okay, and it looks like we have a person who is maybe like riding a horse. It almost looks like they're riding a wolf. That's what it looks like to me. But this heart looks like it's kind of, falling away a bit. And I feel like this is where that like huge love for getting immersed in your work, being a workaholic, right, starts to come in. You have that ferocious kind of go on your own, be above and beyond. You don't need to be led. You already know what you need to do. But you also are like kind of the first person in, or last person out, right? You put all of yourself into it. Sometimes it can become consuming, all-consuming. Other parts of your life maybe start to fall, to the sides and hopefully don't deteriorate. But, the other thing is the burnout. Getting to that point where it's just, it starts to become too much. A lot of the same. A lot of, repetition. Or, if you're in kind of a more free-moving, less scheduled type of situation, it can just be the overwhelming, the drive to continue on, and when you do need to take breaks, or you do take breaks, it's really hard to turn it off. Well, at some point, you are going to start to burn out. I mean, unless you're just really type A and, a very finely tuned machine made to do work, kind of. And some people are like that. Some people just really never get worn out by staying so highly focused. But I think in this situation, we see this symbol of the heart kind of falling from the sky a bit. And I feel like, we have to be mindful. So then I turn it this way, and I see the person, the arms raised in the air, and I feel like almost trying to catch that, obtain that passion. Really, get it before it drops on the floor. Make sure that, it does not elude you. And I think that what that is tempering of schedule, of time put in, allowing for other things to balance, offset some of that grind set or whatever they call it, mentality. And, there's just, no matter where your goals are, right? And I'm all about setting obtainable goals. Of course, we all have the bigger arching goals, okay? But I think personally, my own self, because I'm a little bit of a baby when I start failing, I am all about making manageable goals. Well, I also know that when you are somebody who really is so diligent, is so motivated, so inspired to continue doing, growing, making more money, growing your business, climbing the ladder of the company that maybe you work for, diversifying your skill set, getting more education, all these things. You set goals and you meet them, and you think, okay, well, this should be like, I should be fulfilled by this. But then, very, very shortly does that goal seem small. And then it's on to the next one, right? Up and up and up and up. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, at some point, you're going to break your own heart because you've given everything to this thing. And, I think the biggest thing that I see here and that I think of is just this idea of losing perspective in other spheres of your being. So now I see this little bird kind of flying, right? And I see here a bird landing, and here is a nest. Okay. And so I feel like this is all about spending some time in your home life with your family, making sure that you have that time with your kids, with your loved ones, with your significant other, with yourself, to do the things that you love outside of the work, of course. You love the work, you want to do the work. Yeah, I get it. But there have to be other things, okay? Or what is all this work for? So I think, very much a sense of building a nest. Maybe in this time period when you do have moments, this might be a good time to, and I apologize, that's that's the cat. That's the cat. She's knocking stuff over. They don't like me talking to anybody but them. So anyways, yes, it very much this maybe getting off your phone for a little while. Don't be checking the things from work, the emails, the numbers, the social media stuff. Give yourself an afternoon. Move some furniture around. Go buy some little, decorations, tchotchkes, whatever. Build a nice little space for yourself. I think that it's really important to have a comfortable home, but also sometimes just kind of changing it a little bit so it feels a little new, a little spruced up. And with seeing that nest, I think that, all about reclaiming your place in your sacred space. We get this like feeling of going outside of our temple to go and hunt and gather, right? Do our work. And I mean, depending on what kind of work you do, and then you come back and you return to home, you return to the temple. Well, you sometimes need to kind of rearrange the things, tend to, well, hello, I heard you making all kinds of noise. What are you doing? Come on. Come over here. Come on. Come on, miss. No, don't pull on it. Thank you. I'll hold you, but you have to stop. Okay, here we go. Never a moment, or never a dull moment, I should say. It's just ever mom life here, even with the kitty cats. Okay, so I just think that, like I said, it's important to be able to return to a space that feels very inviting, that feels like you can be thriving in it, that you can also be restful in it, that you get into a configuration, a posture of being receptive to the revelations of the universe and, those sacred spiritual currents coming through and reaching you, helping rejuvenate and, keep you rich in those vital energies, right? Okay, so then we have over here another bird, and this one looks like it is perched, and I want to kind of just look at this here. It looks like, what are those called? Little cockatoos, I think, with the little feathers on their head. They're really cute. I'm kind of scared of birds that have been turned into domestic animals. I had a parrot when I was a kid, my parents did, and it used to try to bite my brother and I's face. It was a sweet bird, but it just didn't, they weren't, really devoted to taking care of the birds. So anyways, it went somewhere else, but it was not happy, and it did not like us loud little demon children, So every time we would try to interact with it, it would try to bite my face. So I'm a little bit leery of birds. I think they're beautiful. I love watching them, but yeah. Anyways, so this beautiful little bird, I think that this is and I'm looking at this kind of formation right next to it. And come on. Let's come over here, please. Come on. Come on. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on. I don't want you to pull this off. Okay, now hopefully that will be the last of that. Okay, so the bird, I'm sorry, Capricorn, I'm sorry. You'll have to bear with me with these animals during the day. They just are unruly, I guess. So, I'm just really looking at and I think of almost this feeling of, and I do get this feeling of, almost feeling caged or, it's not like, I feel like it's like a certain feeling of you don't feel like you can spread your wings all the time. right? And I think that this is so much to do with why you are pushing through so hard with whatever you're working on. I almost wonder if you are kind of working and you have like a day job and you're working on something on the side. Like you're really trying to get your like passion thing going so that you don't have to kind of do things that don't feel fulfilling to you. Which is kind of all of our dreams, right? And I feel like, I feel like you don't mind doing the work that you do. You're good at it. And you're successful. But it's not exactly what you want to be doing. Though there is anxiety in making that transition. So I think that there's even, and this makes sense, maybe that there is a feeling of almost being just overextended, worn out. And that has a lot to do with the fact that you're probably working 2 jobs or 3 jobs or whatever. I mean, family as well on top of all that. So your time is limited. And I think that, it makes sense why I'm not seeing a lot of the flying birds. And there were, but the cat knocks them with a... There was the one over here. It's gone. The cat knocked it with her tail. I'm sorry. But we saw it before. It is captured on camera. So anyways, I think that, they're this more restful state, but I think you're working so hard. You are totally devoted to doing this thing. You are staying the course. You're going to eke it out and make this thing work. Okay. Here she comes again. Incoming. Oh, look at that face. We have a face here. The long nose. I don't want you to have to see her butt. I'm sorry. And the long nose and the little mouth here. And I want this to just, because literally I think that this is such a good time for you. I feel like you're feeling very inspired, to keep, you are full of life. Okay, so I'm just so sorry. Okay. You are in a very motivated place. So you are gaining a lot. I feel that your pursuits are aligned with good fortune, for sure. I also think that you are getting worn out. I feel like, there has been a period of time where things aren't coming as quickly as you were hoping. But I do think that this is kind of that shift into the new period where things are going to start happening. And that is going to bring in, again, another, burst of energy and just kind of a renewed sense of... I keep saying devotion, but it really is to be so devoted to this thing, to be so hyper focused on it. And hopefully, if you are still kind of transitioning between things, maybe you're getting ready to retire and you want to, this is going to be the thing you're doing while you're retired. Whatever it is, I think that, you are getting to that point where it's not going to be so much going on, but the gain is going to be larger and larger. And you can become more singularly focused on this task at hand, this business at hand, this job at hand. And now this is falling apart here. And I just wanted to look at this. This one looks like we have some kind of bear standing. And this is just so much a symbol of, and this is in that spiritual zone, so much a symbol of, great strength, of course, prosperity, being able to withstand very difficult times. There's a lot of wisdom, and also that just innate ability to seek resources. You are good at finding a way to make things work, to find a way to, to create money, basically. So I think that, you are in a good position. You're not in a bad position at all. And and I'm sorry, I was just looking at, I'm like, oh, it looks like, I feel like this is, a person sitting and then an animal. It looks like almost like my cat. That cat. Does anybody want a cat? Look at this. She scratched me. Poor thing. She just loves to be in the limelight. That's what it is. If anybody comes over, she just wants to be right there. And I hate to shut the doors on them, because then it feels like, I've trapped them out of like one of their favorite parts of the house, which is my office. And anyways, it's a whole thing. But I see this more restful state here, okay? And maybe some real contemplation. I really do think that in this next week, you are going to spend some time being able to kind of really just breathe, sit, rest your back, and maybe cuddle with your ornery little cat or dog or whatever you have living there with you. And then the last thing I wanted to look at right here on this cup is it looks like a chalice, or maybe like the Ace of Cups, right? The Holy Grail. And I think that this is really just all about that part of the gain, the shift in success, fortune, things aligning in your favor. And this just really feeds into that place of having more of that vitality, that kind of the waters of your destiny, of life, just flooding through you and keeping you pretty pumped up and going, right? Okay. Now, my goodness, I just spilled some tea all over myself. Now we have a person who is standing in a small boat. Okay. And I just see one little bird up here, and maybe some kind of, I get this image of being out on a lake with a lot of tall grass growing in the water in the shallows, just kind of drifting, maybe out there fishing, maybe just sitting out there thinking, in a peaceful state, shifting into a more watery, emotional, psychic zone. And I think that this will have to do maybe with the next reading, maybe the next period of time. I think that as you are coming into a more financially stable feeling place, and things seem to be working out how you are planning them to, there is going to be this period of time where there are a lot of kind of emotions arising, and this is going to be an important time to be able to, stay calm, be relaxed as much as possible, rested, and to notice how you're feeling, notice why you're feeling these ways. And I think that will be beautiful and interesting for you. I don't think that you allow yourself a lot of times to feel that way, but sometimes they just decide to be that way, don't they? You don't really have too much of a choice. Okay, well, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I want to apologize again. I mean, my goodness, I try my best to figure out when I'm going to be uninterrupted. As you know, if you've watched any of my other readings, these cats come and go. But when it's during the day, like I've been doing some readings during the day. Usually I read at night. They are still so awake. And they're so naughty. And so anyways, I'm sorry. I can't apologize enough. But it is what it is. That's what happens when you do your works, you're filming at home in a common area. All right. Well, I want to thank you again. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm. At this moment, while I'm doing this reading, we're just about to hit 10K subscribers. Yay! So, if you haven't subscribed already, please do that. Maybe you'll be the one to push us over into the 10K zone. I appreciate all of you so, so much. I can't tell you how much I love and adore you all. Most of you are so supportive, kind, generous with your time, making the comments, watching the videos. And, it really touches my heart. It honestly does. So I thank you for that. And so other than that, we will talk again in about 7 days. Capricorn, thank you, thank you, thank you.